In this video, I will walk you through the use of intelligent agents in D2L. I think you will find that intelligent agents are an extremely powerful teaching tool. We will switch to D2L in a few moments, but first I want to give you an overview of intelligent agents. An intelligent agent is called an agent because it takes care of one or more activities for you. It is called intelligent because it can be programmed to monitor a situation and respond automatically, although you can use them to manually respond if you wish. What each intelligent agent does specifically is send out an email that you write to each student that meets one or more criteria. For example, a student that has not logged into D2L in a certain period of time, or any student who has not submitted an assignment by a certain date. You use intelligent agents to monitor aspects of your course and take action when needed. As I mentioned, you can warn students that they are missing an assignment or quiz before the due date, so they have time to complete it on time. Once we get into D2L, I will show you the setup that is required in order to run intelligent agents effectively. After we cover setup, I will walk you through a couple of my intelligent agents so you can see how to write them. What you will find is that they are almost as easy to write as an email. As we discuss intelligent agents inside D2L, I will also point out some bugs in intelligent agents. As powerful as they are, they feel like Desire to Learn wrote version 1 and promptly forgot about them. Finally, I want to talk about a couple of best practices for using intelligent agents. We will do that now before heading into D2L. Now let's spend a few minutes discussing what I think are some best practices for using intelligent agents. These are just the ones that I have come up with. I am sure that you can come up with others. First, the ultimate purpose of an intelligent agent is to send out an email when something either happens or fails to happen. You want to make absolutely sure that the subject line of that email is as descriptive as possible. In order to understand why, we need to briefly discuss how email works in D2L and our first bug in intelligent agents. Normally, when you send an email in a course, D2L filters it so the student only sees it in the inbox for that course. That is especially useful for students who are taking a lot of courses. The email the intelligent agent sends out is not filtered, so it does not show up in the inbox for the course. Instead, it only shows up when the student either tells the inbox to show all, or they go to the main D2L login page and access their email there. That page automatically shows the email from all their courses. Since D2L does not put this email inside the course, it is critically important that the subject line have enough information that the student automatically knows what course it refers to. This sounds confusing, and it is certainly a bug. However, it has been my experience that this does not confuse most students. Now, when a student replies to this email, it comes to you filtered into the course, just to keep things confusing. This is, of course, if you have configured D2L to let them reply. Otherwise, you will not receive anything. Second, if the message is about an assignment they have not yet completed, have the agent send out the message with enough time to complete it. There's no point in telling them they might miss a quiz if the email does not arrive in time for them to see it and take the quiz. For important things, consider reminding them more than once. For example, in one of my courses, they must complete a pre-exam quiz before D2L will release the actual exam for the students to see. Before I started using intelligent agents, I would get panicked emails from students saying they could not see the exam. I had told them about the pre-exam numerous times, but they did not listen. My intelligent agent for this starts Monday of the exam week. The exam is due Sunday night. It then sends a reminder every 2 days until they take the pre-exam. When I started using intelligent agents a few years ago, I initially used them just to send reminders to students of things they had not done. You missed the pre-exam. You have not logged into the course in a week. You have not yet taken the syllabus quiz. And so on. Basically, I used them to nag the students. After a couple of semesters of this, I realized that I could use intelligent agents to send out positive messages. You did really well on that exam. That was a tough homework assignment and you did really well on it. Your grades are improving. Keep up the good work. And so on. The students told me over and over how much they appreciated the positive feedback. Now, for any course where I use intelligent agents, I aim to send out at least as many positive emails as negative ones. We will now switch to D2L. Keep in mind that this is my university's configuration of D2L. D2L at your university might look somewhat different. To get to Intelligent Agents, click on Course Admin and then Intelligent Agents under Communications. Here, you see the start of my list of intelligent agents, and you can also see a big limitation of intelligent agents. Namely, there's no way to organize them. D2L just lists them in alphabetical order by name. When you have a lot, as I do, this makes it hard to find the specific one you want. Folders would be extremely useful, but D2L does not offer them. Before we get into the agents themselves, we need to go to the settings to configure a few things. By default, every course will have the Use the System Default settings checked. That will use Do Not Reply as both the name and return address. That means the student will not know who sent the message and cannot reply to it. That's a bad design. As you can see, I have checked Set Custom Values for this course. I have also entered my name as the name that emails come from. I could have used a title but chose not to. Use whatever makes sense to you. The Apply to Address for response is tricky and also contains a minor and weird bug. The email address has to be your email address for D2L email. It cannot be your campus email address. If you do not know it, you can see it by looking at an email you received from a student inside D2L. Your email address will be shown beside your name. It does not change for different courses or different semesters. The weird bug part is you must precede your email address with an open angle bracket, as you see here. While you cannot see it, you must also end it with a closing angle bracket. Once you've made these changes, just click on Save. You need to know that these settings are not persistent. That is, if you make a copy of this course for another section or a new semester, these settings will be reset to the system default. I would report this bug to Desire to Learn, but they would say it is a feature, and D2L is designed to work that way. Regardless, it is something you have to remember each semester. If you look at the Attendance Intelligent Agent, you see a symbol to the right of the name. That means this agent is not enabled. This particular course is an online course, so the Attendance Agent does not make sense. We will scroll down to the online equivalent, namely has not logged in for at least 7 days. You can see here that it has identified some users and has sent them an email. We will view this agent as an introduction to creating your own intelligent agent. You just click on the name to open it. You want to give the agent a meaningful name. It does not matter what it is, as you are the only one who will see it. I sometimes add leading numbers to the names to group different agents together. I will click on the description so you can see it. You are the only one who will see this, and it shows up on the list of names page we just saw, so you want to make this as meaningful as possible. Below that, you see a check mark beside Agent is enabled. When you create a new agent, copy an agent to a new name, or copy the course, this is turned off by default. This is especially annoying for copied courses, since you have to go through each and every agent and manually enable them. I guess this is another feature. Scrolling down, you see the Criteria section. This is where you refine who the agent will go to. This is required no matter if you have the agent run automatically or you run it manually. After all, the agent has to know who to send the email to. Originally, I had the emails go to all users visible in the class list. That proved to be a mistake. I would end up getting emails telling me I had not taken a particular quiz. Those emails would also end up going to any other instructors I added to the course. By default, the list of roles is not shown. When I clicked on users with specific roles, I saw I could limit the agent to emailing students, and I started doing that for every agent. I recommend that you do the same unless you have a specific reason for doing something different. This particular agent will send an email to any student who has not accessed the course for the past 7 days. That length is completely under your control, so use what makes sense for your course. Later, we will see how to use the release conditions, which is where you target most of your agents. By default, the agent will only take action the first time a criteria is satisfied. This makes sense for graded items, since there's no point in emailing them about a particular grade more than once. For this agent, we wanted to check logins for the entire semester so we can set it to take action every time the agent is run. We want the agent to send an email when the criteria is satisfied. That is really all the agent can do. You can see that it shows my name and the email address from the settings menu. The to field is Initiating User, all one word, inside curly brackets, with no spaces at all. Technically, there are other strings that you can use in this field, but I've never had occasion to use anything else. If you want to explore additional strings, click on the What Special Email Addresses Can I Use link. I should note that the string name of Initiating User confused me at first. That sounds like it's me. It's not, it's the students who will receive the email. You can copy or blind copy people on the email, but I've never had reason to do that. The subject tells the students the name of the course and the reason for the email. There are special strings you can use both in the subject and the body of the email. I use 2 of them here. You can see all of them with the link to replace strings I can use in the subject and message. Initiating User first name inside curly brackets is the student's name. This is what makes this a custom email rather than a generic one that you blind copy to a lot of students. I also use the last course access date string so they know I can see their online activity. I'll scroll down so you can see the rest of the email. This agent runs automatically. You click on the Update Schedule to fill in the details. It runs on Monday and continues until April 29th, the end of the course. I had forgotten to set the end date before, and students ended up getting the email after the course was over because D2L will continue to run the agent until you tell it to stop. So, if the agent runs automatically, make sure it has an end date. Now we just click on Save and Close to close the agent. Rather than taking you back to the agent on the list, D2L just takes you back to the top of the list. We'll scroll down. When this was last run, it identified 2 users who met the criteria. If I click on that link, I see their names. I've hidden the first name because of FERPA. The second name is the name of my student account, so there's no need to hide it. If I click on the Email Sent link, I can see the actual email the student received. This allows me to debug any strings that did not work as expected. I've hidden the student's name and email address, but you can see that they last logged into the course on February 16th. Now, I want to close this agent out and open one that I run manually and which keys on grades. The top is very similar to the last agent we looked at. Here you see that they must make 90% or better on 3 different graded items to receive this email. To add this, you click on Create and Attach and build the criteria. I will build and add one for you to see, but I will not save the agent because I don't want to really change it. Clicking on Create and Attach brings up a dialog box. Currently, its only option is condition type, but many more things will be added to the dialog box based on your selection. There are a lot of different options, as you can see. Mostly, I will leave these for you to explore. Most of my agents are based on either no grade received or graded value on a graded item, which we will use here. The dialog box does not get larger, so I have to scroll down to see the next item. Here, it is to select the graded item to key off of. Different earlier selections lead to different options now. I will select the Chapter 11 homework grade. It does not make sense here, but it's good enough for the example, and I will not be saving the agent anyway. Again, the dialog box does not grow, so I have to scroll down. This is a positive agent, so I want scores greater than or equal to 90%, so I enter these values. I click on Create to add this to the agent. As you can see, it gets added to the list of criteria the student must meet in order for this agent to apply to them. At this point, if I wanted to actually modify the agent, I would click on Save and Close. I do not, so I'll click on Cancel. I am taken back to the top of the list of agents, and will have to scroll down to return to that agent. To run the agent, you click on the drop-down arrow beside its name. It will also give you several other options. If you're unsure of the logic you built into the agent, you can select Practice Run, as I will do here. After confirming you want to run the agent, you are taken to a confirmation screen. You click on Done to return to the list of agents. Once again, you're taken back to the top of the list rather than the agent you were working with. So, you'll need to scroll down again. As I mentioned, this still feels like version 1. Depending on your system and how many people are currently using the system, it may take several minutes for your agent to run. You will need to refresh the browser until the agent runs, as D2L does not do that automatically. On a very busy day, I've had it take 1 to 2 minutes to run the agent. D2L also sends you a confirmation email, but this too goes into your main inbox and is not filtered into this specific course. You can click on the Users Identified message to see a list of users the agent identified for this email. I will not do that since I would have to block the names due to FERPA. With a practice run, D2L will not preview the email that will be sent to the students. Once you're satisfied that the agent is ready, just use the drop-down list again and select Run Now. I will not do that since I've already run the agent. There you have intelligent agents. I've just touched the surface. They can do far more than I had time to tell you about in this brief video. If you're interested, take the time to explore all the options. As I mentioned, there are a lot of bugs and shortcomings with intelligent agents. Try not to let these frustrate you too much. Hopefully, at some point, Desire to Learn will get around to resolving all these issues. If this tutorial was useful, I have 3 MOOCs on Udemy.com that may interest you or your students. Creating exciting videos using PowerPoint slides shows you how to take your classroom PowerPoint slides and turn them into narrated videos for online courses. Working Operations Management Problems has over 8 hours of tutorials giving step-by-step instructions on how to work problems typically covered in Operations Management. Working Business Statistics Problems has almost 9 hours of tutorials giving step-by-step instructions on how to work problems typically covered in Business Statistics.